Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on where you're watching us from. My name is Andika, and this is yet another live stream that we are bringing you. The other time we had a conversation on sex education, and today we are still dissecting the same topic. We had gentlemen help us dissect it, and today we are dissecting it with a lady, and the focus is on the boy child. Stay with me as we have this conversation. Hey, Roselyn.
Hi.
Thank you so much for honoring my invite. I know you had so many things to do, but you put them aside to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here too.
It's a great honor. So, would you mind introducing yourself? Just let the audience have a feel of who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Roselyn Andika. I'm a mother of 3 boys aged 20, 16, and 15. And I am a career woman. I work for the government of Kenya.
Serikali.
Yes.
Yes, so you said you're a mother of 3.
Yes.
So how has... I understand you're a single mother.
Yes, I'm a single mother.
Yes. First of all, congratulations for raising 3 boys. It's not an easy task.
Thank you.
And I would just like to understand how has the experience been, you raising the boys?
It has been a sweet, sour experience because, raising boys are such some piece of work, and especially being single, and the way boys are, they can sometimes be very naughty, sometimes they need tough love, sometimes they need a friend in a mother, and so all those things combined. So sometimes there's a point I'm a friend to them, there's some point I'm so tough on them, but at the end of the day, we are friends, and that's the best experience, raising them, being there for them, knowing that I am there for them, they're looking up to me as a mother, and trying also, I cannot be a father, but trying to fill that gap of a father. And so it's an interesting experience, and it is not for the faint hearts.
It's not.
Yes.
You have said, raising boys is a piece of work. Have you ever gotten to a point of like, no, I cannot do this? Have you?
Yeah. So, I think I was telling you earlier that just a week ago, I almost called the police on one of my sons because I was feeling like this is too much for me. But we always find a way around it. Sometimes there are people around me that I can call when I feel things are getting out of hand. And I thank God because they are always there to support me and help the boys.
Wow. Yeah. So I can imagine my son turning around and wanting to beat me or to fight with me. So you say there are ways you work around it. So how did you work around that particular situation with the son wanting to beat you over?
I tried talking to him, but he felt like I have wronged him, and he was on top, and he didn't want to come down. So reasoning with somebody who is already, he feels like you have wronged him, and he feels like I'm not seeing the sense in whatever that was going on. Yet I'm also feeling that you're my son. You should know that I'm your mother, and whatever I'm telling you, you should calm down. So I tried talking to him, but he had so much anger, and I thought, now I can't handle this because it's getting out of hand. So the only thing I thought about is calling the police. But before calling the police, I called a friend of mine. Luckily enough, she was just a phone call away. So they came with another gentleman, and they were able to calm him down, and they talked to him, and he came down and he apologized. Yeah, the beauty of it, once he apologizes, or any of the boys, once they say they are sorry, they are good. Yeah.
Wow.
You don't go again castigating them at you did this. Now once they say sorry, that's it.
That is it.
Yeah.
And that is the most important thing.
Yes.
So
know that they were on the wrong and they are sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a 5-letter word.
But very powerful.
Very powerful. It can calm so many storms.
Yes.
And just with that experience you have shared, we are having this sex education topic, which is an elephant in the room, and something that many parents are struggling with.
Yes.
And you, as a mother to boys, raising them single-handedly for like 9 years.
Yes, 9 years.
What approach did you take? Well, have you started having the sex education conversations with them?
Most definitely.
Not definitely.
Yes.
Okay, that is important. Congratulations once again. And what steps did you take in starting that conversation? Because I know it was not easy.
Okay, when my eldest son was in class 7, that was in 2015, he started disturbing, should I use the word disturbing, a certain girl in their class.
Yeah.
And it was a concern to the parent of the girl, the teachers. So I was called to school and I was told that your son sends messages to this girl. This girl is unable to read at home because it's like my boy was confusing. And remember, they are just in class 7. So I thought to myself, after now all that ordeal, I thought to myself, now what do I do? And you see, as you mentioned, I'm a single mother, and there's nobody else in my house who can do this. So I decided, before these things get out of hand, let me have a sitting with him and try and talk to him about sex education. Because you see, the children, the little they learn, no, we are in the 21st century, we are not in the old age where people used to think that sex education is a taboo, you can't talk to your children, or it is embarrassing.
Yeah.
We live in the 21st century where we are co-parenting these children with the social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and they see all these things in social media. So either way, you have to talk to them. If you don't talk to them, social media will tell them these things. Yeah, so I sat him down and we started talking about this thing. It was awkward. I didn't know how to start it, but I somehow just found myself starting it out.
How did you start? That is the question media parents out there. You start starting such a conversation with your kid. Like, break it down. How did you start the conversation?
Okay. I told him that, do you know what happens for a girl to get a baby, such things. And then apparently he knew. He knew because he told me that when a girl sleeps with a boy, they'll get pregnant. And then I told him, what time do you think is the right time for you having sex? And then he told me after finishing school, like after finishing college, and he's in a stable working. Yeah. So I asked him if he knew the consequences of having sex with a girl, especially unprotected sex. Yeah, and he told that they had learned in school that you can get a girl pregnant, or they can get sexually transmitted diseases or STIs and sexually infected diseases and sexually transmitted diseases. And I asked him if he had ever done sex. he's a resounding no. And so it told me no. And then, so yeah, that's how we started the conversation altogether.
And before you continue starting it, when you got that call that your son is confusing a lady, and you're here thinking my son is a small boy. How did you feel? Like, what went through your mind?
Yeah, as a parent, you'll always be confused because you're thinking, to a mother, the child will always be
A baby.
my baby. So I was like, wow, my baby has started this thing. So like isn't he too young? Class 7. I think he was 13 13 years. Isn't he too young?
Might he be a teenager?
Yeah. So what are they even talking about?
Yeah.
Because these are two small children. Do they even know what they're getting themselves into? Yeah, so those were my thoughts, and to be honest, I was scared. Yeah.
I understand. Okay. No parent wants to imagine that their child.
Yes, nafanya tabia mbaya.
Yeah, tabia mbaya.
Yes.
Now you have brought in the
tabia mbaya.
Yes. What misconceptions have you had about sex education, and which ones have you had to deal with yourself to even get to a point of having this conversation with your sons?
Okay, the first taboo is, especially in our African setting, is that a mother cannot talk to, especially boys. A mother is supposed to advise girls,
yes,
but not boys. And I'm like, what is the difference? They are all children and they all need the education. So that is the first taboo, that a mother should not. You see, the woman is always put second to men. Like, a mother should not talk to a boy about sex education. But I didn't have a choice because I was the only parent in the picture. So I had to do things. And then there's another taboo, that what somebody doesn't know doesn't hurt them. Like, if the children don't know about sex education, it won't hurt them. Or some people think that once you introduce sex education to the children, they'll be curious, they'll start going out there to try and find out what is this and to try out sex. So that is also a taboo that I had to deal with. And I think, to me, talking about it is giving them knowledge.
Yeah.
As compared to just letting them be wajulia huko mbele, because you don't know wakujulia huko mbele what will happen. Because I've heard stories where women have induced small boys into sex. So I'm imagining, can you imagine that 13-year-old being lured into sex by an adult? Yeah. Yes. It is traumatizing to think about it. Yeah. Very traumatizing. So it's better if they hear it from me than getting to learn these things from
out there.
Because
you're an authority to them.
Yes, because I'm an authority to them. They can trust me. Yeah. I've been there. I've seen all these things.
You have.
Yes.
Better inaitwaje? Kwanza kuwaosha.
Yes.
Kuwaosha inaitwaje?
I bathed them. I washed them. I've seen like every milestone of their life. So who else is better placed to talk to them about these things other than me? Yes. Yeah. So that's my thinking.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, like the things I did a study on social media, and people are saying what you're saying. I asked, what challenges have you faced in having sex education with your children for conversation? And people say what you say. Let them go and find out themselves.
That's very dangerous.
Or I feel if I talk to them, there's that
disrespecting,
practicing.
and practicing.
You get.
Mm.
But the point is whether you tell them these
They'll
things are
still
there.
find them out,
They're there.
especially in this era of social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you suffer talking to them about it, like just facing all those fears and talking to them and regretting later. I wish I did.
Like that thing of them finding out for themselves. My youngest, Nara, one day he came home and he asked me, "Mom, what is a scrotum?"
Wow. That was like a slap on the face.
Yes, like it caught me unawares. The question really caught me unawares. So before I load and answer him,
I can imagine.
I told him, hey, let me go and research and then I'll tell you. So the same day, as I was going through my phone, I saw that he had tried to Google the word scrotum. So you see, even if I didn't tell him what a scrotum is, he went ahead and he Googled. Yes, he went ahead and he Googled. And remember, he was in class 6 or class 5 there. Wow. So he went and Googled this, what is a scrotum. So me, I'm like, on his what is a scrotum. So I'm like, oh my gosh.
So you're trying to find the right words.
But here, his Google is already helping. Yeah. So either way, whether you talk to them or not, they'll still
go and
find out because they are curious beings.
And you mentioned apart from what he had searched, you saw that he had accessed.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was a boy in their school who had sent him a link, and the link was pornographic. So he managed to watch the pornographic videos. So I asked him, why were you watching the pornographic videos?
Are you scared?
Yes, I was so scared because I imagined the type of substance they were watching.
Yeah, crazy.
So he was, my youngest son is very honest and he's very free with me. So he told me that a friend had sent the link to him. So we got to the bottom of it, and it is true. A boy in school had sent the link on WhatsApp, and that is how he managed to access the pornographic sites. Yeah, so I told him the dangers of watching pornographic sites. It was adult stuff, and he should never at any time watch it because it pollutes the mind. And I'm always luckily enough, their social media accounts are registered under my email. So if they searched anything, I'll access, I'm able to access what they view on social media and all that stuff. So from that time, I can confidently say here that they have never watched them again.
How did you handle it with the other boy who was sending the links to?
Yeah, we took it to school. I took it with the teacher in school, and they were called. We didn't scold them or beat them. We just talked to them and told them the dangers about watching the sites and that. And we also involved the other parent. Luckily, they were very cooperative, and we were able to counsel the boys with love. Yeah.
Yeah.
So also you should know how to approach them, because if you approach them with violence, you get violence back.
Especially the current generation.
Yes, so you find ways around the same. So we did it with love, and they were able to appreciate at the end of the day. Yeah.
You know, for us, when the pigwa must slap,
I know, I know.
And you would say, I'm sorry, and you not repeat it, but the current generation.
The current generation, the Z,
Gen Z. They will even tell you they are leaving.
Yes, they can even call the police
on you.
No.
Scary times.
Yes.
Right. So you have mentioned something about social media. Their accounts are linked to your account. Are you the one who opened the accounts for them, and what made you take that step?
Yes, I've opened for my children. Each of my children, I've opened for them a Facebook account. The reason why I opened for each of them after finishing class 8. The reason why I opened the social media accounts for them, the Facebook accounts, is because I knew the world right now revolves around Facebook. It's a small world revolving around social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those things. So I wanted to teach them how to use Facebook because these are, after classes they're going to high school. And so I knew in high school some way, the way they go to gigs and I don't know what, those things
The
that
outings.
yeah, those are the things they do. They open for themselves social media accounts. And so I wanted wakienda high school and they are hearing about Facebook, somebody wants to introduce, they already know
So
from
they
the
don't have the
mother.
curiosity.
So they don't have the curiosity and what. So I took the step to open for each of them using my email account. And I only opened for them Facebook, but I can tell you that each one of them is on Instagram.
Yes, they follow
They're
me.
on TikTok.
They watch my videos and they like,
Yes.
especially the last
So you see, even if I had not opened for them, they would still have opened for themselves. Yeah. I always want the experiences to come from me so that they won't say that, Mom, you didn't teach us this, Mom, you didn't show us this. So I always take the initiative. If I want any of my children to know anything, I'll teach them. Yeah.
That's very important.
Yes.
And I understand your firstborn son, Ian, is very introverted.
Yeah.
Having a conversation with him is not easy. So what did you learn from him that has made you I don't know whether to say adjust, like the approach with the teenagers now, because we have the 16-year-old and the 15-year-old. So from Ian, what do you learn that is helping you, guiding you in facing this other in the conversation, sex education conversation?
Ian has taught me to be patient because he's a real introvert. He's a person who would lock himself in the bedroom for a whole day and he's very okay. So for him, even talking to him, it's you have to get the information out of him. He'll not just tell you. He responds to what you ask him and he will not add anything more. Yeah, but he has taught me patience and I'm always encouraging him to talk to me, anything and everything that he has. Although it's difficult, but sometimes I just prompt him. Do you have a problem? Do you have this? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have... Like recently I was asking him, do you have a girlfriend? Because you see, as a mother, also there are some ages, ikifika, you also want to see your son having a girlfriend, to know that he's normal. Okay, he had a girlfriend in class 7. So I was like just jokingly asking him, so do you have a girlfriend? But he told me he doesn't have one. Are you sure? Can always talk these things to me. But he insisted that he doesn't have a girlfriend. So I can't like force the information out of him. If he has told me that is it. Yeah. Because I don't also want to make him feel uncomfortable in their house. Yes.
You don't want him to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because they can easily pack out.
Yeah.
Kawaida polisi wasema mama yangu.
Yes, mama yangu ananilazimisha nikuwe na girlfriend.
Do you have a case? Oh my goodness. Gen Z.
Yeah.
Hey, parents who are raising kids in Gen Z, how you coping, man?
The grace is sufficient.
It's sufficient. And you have really cultivated open relationships with the kids.
Yes.
And that's why when they started developing things in the pubic areas, they could come and see.
The two small ones, we are very easy with them because they are extroverts like me. So
are you an extrovert?
Yes, I am. They had learned about sex education in school. The adolescence, signs of adolescence. You break your voice, you get hair in the public areas, the hips for girls widen, they start menstrual periods and all that. So they were curious. So I remember it was during Corona when we were locked indoors by force. So when they are showering, my son could come and tell me, Like they were so innocent. They were telling me, Mom, I now have air in my armpits like we were taught in school. And I'm like, okay.
And you're scared a bit.
I'm like, okay. So my little boys are no longer little boys anymore. They are now growing. Yeah, and they would even tell me they have an Adam apple. So for them it is a little bit easier to discuss this matter as compared to my firstborn. Yeah.
And did he say what he spent the money on?
Nara.
Said
Mm.
he called asking for more pocket money, yet you had given him enough money. But he went.
Oh, recently he called me. So he told me that he went for a funky, whatever that means. And he had used a lot of money buying stuff. So I was asking him which stuff, so I can be yet to buy friends, because they had gone to a girls' school. So I don't think he would buy for a fellow man, a fellow boy. You know, the way he said, kwani mimi ninunulie mwanamke mwenzangu kitu.
That's what he said.
Like, you know, the way men are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had to buy stuff for some. So because we are easy with him, so I asked him, man, ulikuwa unanunulia wasichana? Akaniambia ni mmoja tu.
Yes, so he has a girlfriend.
I asked him, is he a girlfriend? I said, no, he's just a friend that wanted me to buy buy her something.
But we all say that. He's just
I know. Because, okay, he's a goalkeeper in the football team.
Footballer. Oh my God.
Football and girls and what. Yeah, but I'm always telling him to be careful because he's still in school. Not to do some things until a certain age. Yeah.
Okay. So you're really inculcating in them the boundaries.
Yes, the boundaries. How far they can go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And consent, have you handled that?
Consent. Like if it is okay.
Like how far can it get?
Okay.
You have
I've allowed them, like if they have a friend, whether it's a boy or a girl, I've allowed them to bring them home, because as a parent I also want to know what kind of friends my kids are working with. So I've really encouraged them, if they have a friend, it's okay for them to bring their friends at home. They even cook, they eat together. Like during the December holidays, you have to have enough food in the house.
In this economy.
Yeah, because I'd rather the friends come, they mingle in my house, they cook, they eat, than them going out there and you don't know where they're going or what they're doing. Yeah, so I'll buy them popcorns, I'll buy them juice, so they'll come and eat the popcorns and soda and watch movies and what. Sometimes they cook lunch. And so I'm comfortable that way as compared to them just wandering in the world and you don't know where they are or what they're doing. So I've really encouraged them to bring their friends at home. And no going into closed doors, behind closed doors, as for example, if they brought, because there's even this thing of homosexuality. I remember when Ian was in primary school, there was a case in their school of homosexuality. So I even asked him if he knows what homosexuality is, like a man going out with a fellow man. And he told me he knows. And I wondered where he had heard that from. They told me during the holidays, I think they'd gone to Mombasa or something. And there was a belief that in Mombasa, there's a lot of homosexuals. So they found themselves, yes, so they found themselves having a discussion around the same. So, okay, it is disgusting to discuss some things, yes.
But they're here with us. Like you can't
but they're here with us, so I tell them they should never close themselves off bring friends at home and then they are spending time in their room. So when they are home, even when I'm home, we encourage family time. We stay in the living room. We do things as a family. We don't, at some other people are eating in the bedroom, others are eating in the sitting room, others in the kitchen. No, we have family time. When it's food time, we all eat from the living room. And it applies even to friends. When they come, they stay in the living room. Yeah.
Like, just keep it open.
Yeah, keeping it open.
Okay. And you mentioned, like, when you're talking about Ian, Sid, and Nara, something has come out, like you respect their privacy boundaries.
They wrote on their door, knock before you enter. The big market.
That's making me feel like it's super big so because my house.
And they're on the bedroom door, knock before you enter. They don't clearly that message is for me.
You just turn around like the matter, like it's your house and you're the only other occupant, so they're not telling you. Okay,
of course, it's me they were telling.
So how did you?
No, I just understood that now big boys and they would like their privacy. Yeah. Just the same way I would like my privacy in my bedroom. It's the same way to them because now they are now young adults. So I respect. I knock before I enter. They also knock before they enter my bedroom. So it's a two-way. Yeah.
And what do you think is the importance of that? Because another parent would like go harm on them. This is my house. You cannot. What is the importance of respecting their privacy and boundaries?
Yeah, you make them confident in themselves, and then you see, I'm not only raising boys. I'm raising men who will be fathers in the future, husbands. So I want, even though there is no man in my house, but I would like them to see how things are done.
Yeah.
Like you cannot just walk in somebody's bedroom. What if you find them naked dressing? So you have to knock before you enter. So as much the way I want them to respect my privacy. So I didn't feel like they had offended me or anything. I just thought, my boys are no longer small boys. At least they are maturing up and they even know that these things should happen. I think you've seen when you go to their bedroom in blue.
Yeah, and they're very responsible. You have done a good job raising them. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I ate Ian's egg and I was like, Ian is now a big boy. He can prepare the egg.
You see, I told you I'm a career woman. And sometimes I travel. I'll be out for a week. Sometimes I'm also a minister in the church, a shepherd in the church. So I also do a lot of church work. So sometimes if you depend on me to come and cook for you, you'll eat at 12 a.m. So I taught them how to cook. I taught them how to light the gas. I taught them how to cook. Virtually everything. Eggs, tea. If anybody cooked tea in my house, it's well cooked tea. Ile awaluya. They know how to cook ugali. They know how to cook. The only thing they don't know how to cook is chapati. But the rest of the things they know.
And Sid's chicken is delicious.
Yeah, he knows how to cook virtually everything. And sometimes they take advantage of him. So
because he loves the kitchen, so he does everything.
Yes. But I discourage that. So I give them duties. If somebody cooked tea in the morning, the other one will wash utensils and the other one will cook lunch. So I give them duties, especially when they're on holidays. So they work on duties. Yeah.
So you're a confident mother. You have done a good job.
Yes.
It's evident.
Yeah. They even know how to clean. They know that it's Thursday, they have to take the trash out. They know that when the day back comes on Saturday to wash the clothes, they know they're the ones that take the clothes in. And when they take the clothes in, they don't just leave them in the basket, they fold them. Yeah.
So when they get a woman, they don't get that weight of a woman's role is in the kitchen.
Yes, because they have done it.
They have done it and they know these roles are for everybody because you being a mother, you have as well done it because you're the woman.
Yes.
But they have done it. So when they get to a point of having their own families, they know these things we can share.
Yes.
And that is, I think, the disconnect between how we are raised
and how we are raised.
And how.
Yeah, because personally when I was growing up roles were clearly defined because I grew up partly in the village and partly in the city. So in the village, roles were clearly defined. Like my role as a young girl was go to the river, fetch water, cook, clean, and all that. And the boys had an easy time because their roles were just looking after the cattle. Yeah, so like I did the donkey's work growing up as a girl. But right now, raising my children, I've raised them knowing that there is no role for girls or roles for boys. So they do basically everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in that aspect of defining roles,
Mm.
that kind of affects their approach on sex education when it comes to boys. Why do you think it's important that the boys is also involved in sex education? Because, as you have said, the role of the boy is like go take cows to feed and then bring them back home. But the girl is doing the donkey work, and she will be sat there and be told, "Don't talk to boys." I asked mom, mom, I always found myself running to you and telling you this boy was trying to talk to me, so I'll go run and cry and tell her mom a boy was talking to me. And I told her, I don't remember you having that conversation with me, so how did I get to this point of knowing that boys are bad and I could turn to you? And she told me she never talked to us, like maybe they talked to the elder, So, and of course the boys were also not talked to about it. So why do you think that the boys should not be overlooked in matters of sex education?
You see, there is this misconception. Okay, not a misconception. In the world today, much attention is given to the girl child. So much is given to the girl child that we forget the boy child. So like we'll really talk about the girls, don't talk to the boys, don't do this, don't do that. But you see, even if this boy made this girl pregnant, it is not only affecting the girl, it's affecting both of them. But you see, we are looking at it, for example, if this girl is in school, ataacha shule, so it's like life stops for the girl, while the boy, life continues. But if you look at it, it is affecting both of them. Because as much as you feel like the girls are, these boys are also affected psychologically, knowing that at class 7, I'm a father. Who wants that? So as the girl will be affected physically, you'll see that the stomach is protruding and they're pregnant. They stop coming to school. It's evidence. But the boy is also affected mentally, and you see, there's nothing as bad as mental torture. I'd rather even that one who is being seen in the belly than this one that is sitting there depressed psychologically, knowing that. So it is important to the girl and the boy all together.
Plus there are also diseases.
Yes, and as much as you won't get pregnant, you can get HIV, you can get these STIs, gonorrhea, syphilis. I hear now there's super gonorrhea. So they'll get, even if they won't get pregnant, they still get that. And HIV, I remember when we were growing up, getting HIV was like signing your death sentence.
Yes, especially like for us, the sex education in school was us being shown those videos.
Yes, and then those terrible videos. What? So it was like signing a death sentence for yourself. So I believe it is important for the boy child won't talk, but the psychological torture that they go through is really also something else. Yeah.
When I was coming to the church today, the guy that carried me was talking about a boy who impregnated a girl na akaruka ball. So the girl analea mimba. So mtoto amezaliwa, the boy ameambiwa amepeleka mtoto nyumbani na bibi. you're marrying him by force.
Wow.
You can imagine the torture he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember these are small children.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was having that conversation, so he was telling someone else. Alifanya hivi, so akaruka mimba. Sasa hivi ni mtoto amezaliwa, anaambiwa amchukue ama apeleke police station.
So where do you start?
You see, if you don't prepare this boy,
they're also in school.
Yeah.
For you to take care of a child, you need to be financially stable. But so it is important for the both of them.
Yes.
Don't neglect the boy child. Society, I'm talking to the society, don't ever emphasize on the girls and you leave out the boys, because it is affecting them. They won't say it, they won't speak it out, but it is affecting them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very true. And like parents, sometimes we need support, maybe resources that we refer to when we are trying to empower us on matters of sexual education, because you don't have everything. Just the way you were raised, these things, if you're lucky, you come and put them in school, or rather you experience with your friends and learn as you go. So which resources that have you used in trying to learn or navigate this subject that other parents can refer to? Or do you have people who support you in that?
Okay. My first go-to is always, because I've brought up my children in church since they were small boys. So in church, we have a very big support system, because I don't know if you have come to a church, you'll see there are different classes. We have classes for the Sunday school, then we have the teens, and then we have the youth, and then the adults. So especially when the children are going for boys to men, when they're transiting, there's normally a mentorship program that they undergo. So this mentorship program really helps the boys, because during the December holidays, that's when they go for the mentorship program. So you just pay some money, and then they go for the mentorship program for 2 weeks. So that has been a really great support system to me. And then I also thank God for the government of Kenya. They take us to trainings of these things. So I've also been trained about these things from my employer. And we also have counselors I don't know if people know that we also have counselors in the government that also help us around the same issues. So you can always take the children to the counselors, or yourself if you're feeling overwhelmed.
Psychosocial support.
Yes, so you go to them. And then I also have friends. I have a brother, Tony, who helps a lot. I only need to call him. I have my auntie Mary. She also helps a lot. So I have people around me who support me a lot. Yeah, my cousins, my brothers. Yeah.
I try. It's not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah.
You know. So thank you so much. And before we wind up, you have tried as a mother to boy, or just a mother. It's never easy. Like, there are those who are having it rough with girls, there are those who are having it rough with boys, or having it easy with boys. So you have navigated the murky waters, and now you have gotten to a point of having those open conversations with the boys, and they can come to you and tell you, "Mommy, this is what is happening." So to that parent, to that mother, whether single or married, who is raising sons, introverted, extroverted, what word of advice would you give to them as a mother who you're still in that process? Not like you have gotten married.
What I'm always telling, because a lot of people ask me that question, they are very strong. That question. So I'll always tell anybody who asks me that, make your children your friends. Don't draw them far from you. Just make them your friends. Be firm, yes. By making them friends, I'm not telling that you don't correct them or what. Just be firm, but let them be your friends. Because even that, my son who I was telling you that I almost called the police on him, he's my best friend. It's only that sometimes he snaps.
Yes.
So even after having those confrontations, at the end of the day, he'll come to me and he'll tell me, Mom, I want to pray for you. Mom,
He
please,
prayed for
please."
me and he said I should get so much money
Yes.
today.
So I'm authoritative, yes. Very affirmative, yes. But still, I'm still their friend. So whenever they have anything, they'll run to me first before running to
someone
someone else. Yeah, or running to social media. So cultivate friendship with your children. That is the only thing I'll tell any parent or anybody asking me about that question.
Thank you so much. It's been a really engaging, thought-provoking conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you will come again when we call upon you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's this other elephant in the room,
Mm-hmm.
eggshell parenting. And I know you'll be very instrumental in that.
Yes.
We shall be handling that very, very soon.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sending you love and light.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, so that is it for us. I hope you have learned something. The emphasis is make your children friends, cultivate those open relationships. Because if you don't talk to them, they'll find the information out there from the social media or from friends, because we also have peer pressure. So they'll, whether you talk about it or not, they will find out somehow. So you'd rather start the conversation with them and save them from deviating from the right path that you are trying to direct them from, because you are an authority, and if you speak to them, they'll hear you and they will learn and understand. So thank you so much for staying with us until this point. See you in the next conversation. I've been yours, Ablatse Mbukwa.